Hey, Steve, great to see you, bud. Thanks for being on Rams Rewind.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
So, as a former member of the football team, of course, a graduate, 2009, if we have that correct, right?
That is correct.
The 50th dinner for football was outstanding.
Absolutely. A lot of fun. A lot of great to see. A lot of faces I haven't seen in over a decade.
Yep.
Always good to reminisce with old players and players I've never met before from years prior and years past. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, just to let people in on it. I mean, over 150 people, great guests. But, for me, I didn't play football at FSU. But it was just nice to see all you guys in one room. I mean, that shows the affinity that football has.
Yeah, like you said, I haven't seen these guys in a long time, and it was great to hear from the coaches prior. Tom Kelly, my coach, for 2 years I was there. Just hear the stories, other guys, and how proud they were. You know, I was a part of some really bad teams when I first started, but Framingham has since gone on to some great things. But um, it's great to hear from the past guys because we never saw them
Yeah.
before or anything like that. It was great to hear those stories about how proud they were and how proud they still are of the time they spent at Framingham.
It's a great point. I felt honored to meet Dr. Golden and to hear, he was the guy that started the program. I mean, it's kind of crazy that he was 27 in a high position, and I mean, he got the keys, without him, and it was nice to have kind of a history book speaking to us.
Absolutely. We had him a couple of times as a guest speaker when I played,
Okay,
and I since. But I mean, just the history and the people he brought with him at
sure.
the ceremony were just everybody that was a part of it. And it's you don't think of how it starts,
Yeah.
but he brought it down and how everybody was there, and this person voted for this, and this person helped with this, and it's amazing to see how it all came together in 50 years. It's
Yeah.
something special.
Yeah, I mean, from the start when he talks about how they didn't have any place to play, and the stories about that first year, it seemed like there was no chance. Like when he was talking, I'm thinking, how in the world did they I mean, they had nothing.
Right? No players. They had to recruit
Yeah.
everybody, get open tryouts, and the kids that were already students. It was. I guess we're lucky now to sit back and we've seen what Framingham has done, but like those early days, like I mean, they went undefeated that first
Yeah.
year. Like they had nothing.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing, and it's truly special.
You know, everybody I've talked to in athletics about Tom, I mean Kelly, I mean it's pretty cool to see the glow that people have when they talk about him. Take out the X's and O's about him as a coach. And this from me, both you and I being in professional sports for a while, the person is first and foremost with Tom.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw it on Saturday. The amount of times you try to go talk to him, and he's
Yeah.
surrounded. You have to wait your turn. And there's 10, 15 people just around him at all times, just trying to like give him a handshake, say thank you. That's what I try to do a couple times. It's just I'm indebted to him for a lot forever, basically for what he's done for me and helped me out and to be the man I am today. Uh, he's just a really great human all
Yeah.
around, whether it's football or not football. Just a really great person, and he's special.
And he's humble in that position where it's a position of leadership. He's the top guy, but he doesn't really act like that, which I think is very endearing.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
he lets his coaches coach. Whether it's an offensive coordinator, he lets them make the plays. He might say something, hey, let's try this, or I liked how you did this, but he lets them do their job, and it's you don't see that at a lot of different levels, and he's a great coach for it.
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen him, of course, behind the scenes, but I mean, I'm sure he's hard when he has to be. But I think that over the top hardness on players, to me, I don't think guys respond to that unless it needs to be that. You know, what do you
Yeah,
think about that?
yeah. I mean, mine says I always like the hard coach to get on me and stuff like that, and he knew how to push my buttons and he was good at it. But it's all for the better. He's trying to get the best out of the player, the coach, and everyone around.
Yeah, but it seems like he would do it in a maybe a sarcastic not in a mean way, but in a Tom way, if that makes any sense.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. The Tom way. Yeah,
Yeah.
he had his way of doing things, and sometimes you'd be like, man, why is he doing that? And you look back and you're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like
Yeah.
either busting your chops or something like this, or getting on you for messing up a play, but he needed to do it because he needed the best out of you.
We'll certainly go forward, but I want to go back how you ended up at Framingham State because I think those are good stories.
How I ended up at Framingham State. My mom got her master's there in I think nursing education, or shoot, man, it was something like that. She got her master's there, and I remember going to the campus, and it was only 15 minutes down the road from Milford, so it's
Yeah.
pretty close, local, and you know, as I grew up, um, I started to think, like I want to stay local, and I want something. I like communications, visual media production is what I graduated at Framingham with, and I remember, they had what I wanted. They had football, and it wasn't that expensive, so
Yeah.
it was a win-win for me, and you know it just worked out that way. Yeah.
Yeah, and if people don't realize Milford, Massachusetts is it's where I got my start in radio actually, but what a special place because there's so much history in Milford, not only with sports, just that community and that's a cool place you grew up.
Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
Had a good time.
Good old Fino Field, right?
Yeah, Pheno Field. Yeah, some good times out there.
Great. Yeah, that's great. So you're big time, man. Red Sox, Bruins, working the camera, doing a lot of stuff. Congratulations on that. It's great to see an alum do special things like you are.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, and a lot of people helped me out along the way, and it's been fun. I've been blessed, so I cherish every time I'm out there, and it's uh it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's not you don't go into Zip Recruiter and apply for the NESN. Yeah. I mean, so you can quickly tell us, how that journey came about.
Well, I was looking for an internship my senior year, and NESN had, I think, 10, and I
Wow.
applied to every one of them, and I didn't hear back from anything except for one that was programming and production, which basically is, you probably see it on your TV, your cable, your guides. You
Yeah.
see what shows of what weekly is or what daily is going on in the program and production. Put that all together, and they send those lists out, and that's what airs. So I wanted nothing to do with that, but I just wanted to be a part of NESN. And I got an email back from the the gentleman running it, Len Mead, and
Oh yeah.
he brought me in, and I flat out told him, I said, I want to do like operation stuff. I want to be behind the cameras. And he was like, oh, well, you can't really help me out here. I'll give you a name to somebody else. And that somebody else was Nancy Rose, and
Hmm.
meeting with her. And she brought me in and was like, oh, you'll start here doing this and this. Like, I'm starting? She's like, yeah, you got I was like, oh, whoa. And it was pretty amazing because I remember we had an orientation with all the interns, and it was a room probably full of 30 or 40 people, young students. And I was the only state school, at least in Massachusetts.
Hmm.
People, Boston College, Boston University, Michigan. I remember there was a kid there, and I'm standing up saying, "Hey, Framingham State," and
Yeah.
that meant something. Like a state. So I got to prove to myself and prove to everybody else here that I can be here and I can do it. And I think I'm almost 100% sure, but from that entering class, I'm the only one still there. So that's something special to me, and shows like state schools. We might have to work a little bit harder, but
Yeah.
we belong.
That's fantastic. And I agree with you. I know being at that age, there was that whole thing like, geez, I didn't go to Syracuse or I didn't, you're around all these people and their resumes or I grew up with in the business, kids did radio and TV in high school. I had, I didn't have that in Ashland. And you're thinking, God, I'm behind the 8 ball. But it's if you work hard and if you want it, Steve, right? You got to work at this stuff. As much as you can go to school and have all the degrees and all that, you got to work a little bit harder. And it sounds like you did.
Absolutely, yeah. It's that, and sometimes you can't take no for an answer.
Yeah. In luck,
Something
right? I mean, there's a little luck to all of this, right?
for sure. You got to sacrifice a lot of stuff. I'm sure you've done as well as I have. Nights, weekends,
Mm,
family get together, friends parties, and all that stuff. It's at the end of the day, it's what you want to do for a
yeah,
living. It's not easy getting in the business, but you got to work your tail off, kind of
yeah.
thing. And that I think state school like Framingham, that was the same thing. You got to work your butt off to get where you want to be. And I think that both of us have done that, so it's a lot
Yeah,
of fun.
it really preps you for so you're working Red Sox, Bruins games. I mean, so how did that kind of fall in your lap?
Yeah, I got hired after my intern year as a studio technician, seasonal, and I worked my first Red Sox season. We would build a stage on Jersey Street now, which they don't do anymore. But we'd build it every single day, every home game, and at the end of the season, they needed someone to stay on an extra month, and they asked me to stay, so I stayed. And then the next season came along, and I got hired as seasonal again. And then within 2 months, they were like, "We want you part time, permanent." And I started doing that. And then slowly, a few years in, I started doing E&G camera work, which is behind the scenes, shooting the interviews and
Yeah.
doing Hockey East stuff. So I started doing that, and then slowly got into pro product, uh, Red Sox, Bruins, little Celtics here, little Patriots here, and they liked me enough, hired me, and I'm a senior E&G photographer now, and it's time flies, but it's been 13 years I think
That's
I've been
great.
there, and
Yeah.
yeah, just been doing my thing.
Yeah. You know, you earned a regional Emmy for your work on the Travis Roy story, and Travis means a lot to everybody. And I was in Maine for 15 years, so I learned all about him. I remember what happened to him, but that was really cool that you were able to do that. And what a human being Travis was, considering what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. We did the documentary post his death, but um, meeting his family uh, was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. We went to his wiffle ball tournament in Vermont for 4 days,
Hmm.
uh, and it was amazing. Just the people, the stories, just talking about Travis. I was able to meet him once before on a pregame show for Bruins, but just an amazing guy, um, amazing family. It's just the guy. It's wild how sometimes some things like a traumatic event, you break your neck and you're quadriplegic,
Yeah.
and they're able to affect so many people in a positive way, uh, and really change the landscape of at least quadriplegics. Like he helped so many people, and just it's amazing what you can do like after something traumatic like that. And he's just an amazing human.
He had every reason to kind of wallow in that too. I was telling someone the story that didn't know him. He's 11 seconds into his first ever shift, but you're right. And I'm really proud about our region because I think we've done that. We've really through the sports teams, and I think through having more outlets now on social media to really to help people through bad things. And I think it's been NESN and WEI and all the sports teams have really done a nice job with that. It's something to be proud of.
Yeah, like you said, it's something special to be from New England,
Yeah.
and we always help out each other. It's just that's the way it is, and we come from a great area that we do that all the time, and it's I'm sure other places they do it too, but it's just something about New England just really hits home.
Yeah, certainly does. Do you feel that kids now coming up have more of an advantage now with all of the outlets? If you're in media, you can shoot your own show now. You can do your own. I guess you could counter my argument and say, well, it's more saturated, but I think that you can get more reps now. You could practice, right? You could practice being behind the camera at home. I think it's all better now for the student. I think they don't realize the opportunities they have.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, and just getting content out.
Yeah,
Even if you small story or a short story or uh, something you see, if you're there, you're able to cover it just with a phone, like you said, you able
yeah,
to tripod, hit record, and you're on. And it's a great advantage of getting those reps in, and people forget like that's what you got to do. Just it doesn't nobody's going to be Bob Costas like overnight. It takes time. It takes
Yeah.
reps. It's okay to mess up. Nobody's perfect. Those are all, everybody, the women, the men, they've all messed up many times.
Yes.
They've few words. It's okay, but just keep going at it. That's what it takes.
Yeah, I say it's just like working out. You just the more you train the muscle, it gets stronger. But once you develop it, you still have to keep working on it. But yeah, I mean, we all have these moments where you're first starting out and like I have no clue what you're doing. I think that's very natural.
Absolutely, you get the well for me at least. It's the
Yeah,
shaking. Uh-oh, like this is a big thing here. But it takes reps, and you just got to keep going and working at it and follow your system. You get a little thing in your head going. I got to do this, 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 which means I get that. Perfect.
yeah.
All right. So just keep doing it.
Finally, you've said a lot about the college, but just for students watching a potential, like what's the reason to go to Framingham State? I mean, I know there's a lot, but if you could, let us know a few. Well, you're going to be the sales pitch guy right now.
Oh, not my best suit, but I guess I'll try it on. No, Framingham's a special place. It's a small community, but everybody it just feels like home.
Yeah,
It's great. Everything's so close. Everything's you know all the classes are so close to the dorms, and I don't know. It's a special place. Once you walk on campus, you feel it, and I know I felt it when I was there. Uh, Sports, everybody's really really proud and loves going out to the games. Uh, the professors, they were always wonderful when I was there, and the staff is great. Um, yeah, it's a great place to be. It's really special. I feel like I've said special a bunch of times today,
that's
but
great. Yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah.